If you or a family member have been hurt because of the careless actions of another person, call Walker Texas Lawyer. They'll work to get you the financial compensation and justice you deserve. They have 40 years of experience, and you don't pay unless you win. Call 713-881-9653 today for a consultation or go to walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
Well, I was going to ask about the cage match. When y'all found out you were going on first, were you like, oh, yes, we're going to be the first thing of the night? Or were you like, I wish we had that main event spot because we know we're going to go out there and kill it?
Honestly, first, like, it's like something different. Like, there's a different energy. People wanted it. You know that book, right? When you go out, it's like they're so excited, they're so hyped, and they were just ready for this match, right? So to give that, I don't want them to sit through 3 or 2 hours of other stuff and then get to us. Like, I wanted it to be like, let's set the bar, let's go out them. And it just felt right. Like, it felt like that was the main event. Could have been in the beginning. Who's to say the main event's not the first match, right? So I just think it was perfect placement. I think at that point in our storyline and just where we're at with everything, it was great to set the tone for the rest of the show, prove what we had to do. And then, like, I didn't have to worry about time restraints and things like that. I just wanted to go out. We had our full on match. I mean, there's moments, right, where you're like, I'm going to be like leaving the cage at some point. I'm not going to be doing the slow crawl. Like, we are going to go forget, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were just going to go full on all out. And that's what we did. And I think first match allowed us to do that.
Did during the run, it was just a fun run to watch the ebbs and flows of where y'all were going with your characters. Where did it come into play to bring in Zoe Stark? How did that idea come about? Was that something that you and Becky thought about? Was that something the company came to and said, hey, we'd love to have her along for this story?
Hunter and I talked about it at one point. And just like, not necessarily Zoe, but it was like, I don't know, do we need a little, like, something to maybe get you some muscle? Like, maybe one of those, like, we were talking about me being a bit of a chicken shit heel and like, what can I do? So, I mean, back in the day I had Tyson Tomko, and I hid behind him. And, back in the day, it was funny because we think about it, like in the 2000s, right? There wasn't any females getting a guy as their heater, so to speak, right? So I was lucky to have him back in the day. And I thought, yeah, that worked, for me to have that and sort of like chicken shit behind her or whoever we chose. It could be guy, girl, whatever it was. And then they brought up Zoe, and I think she was just ready, from what they were, and Booker, you would know, but she was ready in NXT to like go to the next level, right? She had proven herself over there, and they brought her in, loved the idea. We were super excited about, the surprise element, because it was kind of like just another part of the story to be like, surprise, another kind of turn that you didn't expect. And for me, like, going back, it's a little selfish. Like, I do it for myself. I want to see it, challenge myself, etc. But I want to make sure I'm also giving back to the business. Like, what am I here for? It's not just for me to like, make sure I leave my legacy more than I already have. It's really about. And so when I started to, and so working with Becky is one thing, but it's not like I'm not giving her the rub. You know what I mean? Like, she's Becky Lynch, right? We're definitely complementing each other. But when I got to work with Zoe, and then having that ability to like do the stuff, Booker, that we did on Tough Enough, right? Where she, how do I do this? Even when I left, I'm still, we don't like each other right now, but we're still in touch, and there's, I want to help her. I want to help her, like, is this t-shirt okay? Now let's go with this, or this, no, don't put the jacket, when you come out, took the jacket off here. These little tiny details, which I feel like, that's one thing about my career. I've always like, for me, it's always the details, right? Like you're not quite sure what stands out about that segment. It's always those little details that you don't think about, but they're in there, and that's why it stands out. And so I like to be able to parlay that to Zoe, so for me, that was like really good, a real, like, not passing the torch, but it was a coming around moment where I could actually give back to the business and like, see this amazing star and help mold her and help get her ready for the big time. And I think, we had a great relationship, and it was great for the storyline as well.
And, and people can see, obviously, Trish Stratus at the Bad Girl Tour, trishstratus.com/Bad Girl Tour. But, you're talking about staying in shape, and Booker and I were saying we're taking some supplements, but you just signed a new deal with Stacker 2. You're going to be representing their chew gummies. Can you talk a little bit about how that came about?
Oh, it's so cool because like, as people remember, so what I loved doing when I came back, I was like, it was like, if you know kind of a thing, where I would do these callbacks, like everything from the mask to like a certain move, to like a motion, to like a phrase, like a callback to one of my, catchphrases. People were like, the people that are into it, right? They were like, oh, I love when she did that. So it's kind of funny how the Stacker 2 is a bit of that again. It's sort of like a callback to like, I was in their ads with the soprano guy, Polly Walnut. Is that his name? Polly Walnut?
Mm-hmm.
Or Walnuts with an S? I don't know. Anyway. And that was like 2003. It's literally 20 years ago, right? So to go back to that relationship was really cool. And knowing that like, my roots is fitness, right? I started as a fitness model, and it's obviously been the continuous theme throughout my life and my career. So to go back to that and just dabble back in that space, in the supplement space, is really great, because I talk about stuff that I do, right? Like the little extra things I do, like it's energy gummy, and it's like got the B12 vitamins to help you, to make you your optimal immunity. And I that's the kind of thing I need, right? So I talk about like people, how do you do it? I mean, I wear many hats, right? I do my momming, I do the Trish Stratus of it all, whether it's my business side of things or the WWE side of things. And yeah, I need a little something you need, but it's in order, you have to be fueled properly in order to do these things, and to, to achieve all the greatness that you want to achieve, you need to be fueled properly, or else you just can't do it. Don't got enough in the tank, So yeah, so it was nice to hear from them. They told me like when we knew we wanted to relaunch this, we just went back to like a great relationship we had in the past. That was what they said to me. And I was like, oh, I love that. So it's like with a trusted partner, they've been a trusted leader in the supplement field as well. So, and yeah, it's a little chew gummy that's easy to take. It's just convenient and on the go. And I highly recommend it. I'll send some over for you guys.
Oh yeah, we love that. Stacker 2, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like that chewable.
Yes.
The gummy chewable.
And I have one other thing I'd love to run by Trish real quick though, because again, in this run, people were calling you the GOAT. You were calling yourself the GOAT, and well, no, but that's what I wanted to bring up though. I think that you solidified in my mind as the greatest, female athlete to ever do it in professional wrestling in its entirety. But I also think that you, along with a few other women who have reached kind of that level, should be talked about more in just the greatest of all time conversation, men and women. Do you feel that same way? And do you feel that perhaps Trish Stratus, when you look at it, is in that greatest of all time conversation, men or women?
I mean, I'm not going to say I am, but I mean, there has been conversations. When I heard the cage match, like people talking about the cage match after, I really loved seeing not just this is a good girls cage match. Like I didn't see that. It was like, this could be the contender for one of the best cage matches I've seen, or one of the better storytelling I've seen in a cage, and things like that. So I've always sort of strived for that, to not be separated by a woman or by our gender, and even back in the day, like I was just a big advocate for like, when they were giving us the divas moniker, and I was like, it didn't match us. That diva had a different connotation, I think. But I just made a point of like, nope, we are if they're WWE superstars, we're all doing the same job. We're all delivering the same thing. We're on the same schedule, and that's what we're doing. So I didn't like that they were separating us back then. And then everything I do now is like, and I don't want to be like the women's segment on the show or the women's match on the show. I want to be like that match on the show, period. So, I mean, if you want to put me in the non-gender specific GOAT category, cool.
Hurry up, tape running out.